All right, welcome back. This is Newsfile. It's your most authoritative news analysis show. My guests, Kwesi Botchwey, Yao Pong, James Agalga, and Alex Afenyo Marking. Now, a couple of your comments and then we move on. Justice Sai says that facts, the commissioner made findings to the effect that the judgments in the two cases were wrong at law and had, quote, errors on the face of the record, unquote. Issue whether the commissioner acting under the executive through a commission of inquiry and not as a properly constituted appellate judicial authority had the mandate to make such findings. Held. This is what he says was held. So he appears to have the judgment already. The commissioner acted outside his mandate under the CI because he was not acting in a judicial capacity, separation of powers. And he says, effect. Okay, and justice has a way of doing things this way. Effect. All those findings that sought to invalidate the two judgments are void and deemed expunged from the commissioner's report and consequently the white paper. Thank you very much, Justice.
I think it's cosmetic. Because all those things had been done by the Supreme Court already. That's my view. It's cosmetic.
Thank you. Yeah. And then Obeng Menu tells me that, the money, I corrected it, 500,000 Ghana cedis. When he had asked for, Chachu Chikata had asked for 600,000 Ghana cedis. Some of you making calculations with Chachu Chikata's cost. Like we say, cost goes to the lawyer, you know, and he will take it. This one was on the School of Law. It says, to the extent that it seeks to expand access to professional legal education in Ghana, the decision of the Supreme Court is very refreshing and welcome. And we welcome it. We must, however, exercise extreme caution in scrapping the entrance examination and interview process of admission into the law school, because that can create a lot of problems for all of us. The implementation of the quota system being proposed by the Supreme Court may lead to more controversies and may further limit access to professional legal education. For us at the it says for us, the main problem has to do with the limitation of space at the school and not the entrance examination and interview. The surest solution is expanding access, and that is what ought to be done. A person didn't introduce himself, or herself, but I seem to get an impression it is coming from the Ghana School of Law, and that their major issue is with expanding the facilities. Now, let's go to the NDC. Botchwey's report is in, and the NDC says it's keeping it to its chest. It is like the Gitmo diplomatic document. It's not available, but no matter how unavailable it is, if Kwesi Botchwey does not intercept it, he should lose that position that he has held on for decades.
To be within a limited time.
Right. Okay, so let's hear bits and pieces, and then we'll take the discussion on.
The committee was put together by the National Executive Committee. We've received the report on behalf of NEC. We are going to proceed to analyze it right from tomorrow. So we'd like to call upon the committee to maybe give us a subcommittee of 1 or 2 members who will be leading the discussions at the Functional Executive Committee level tomorrow. Then, after tomorrow's FEC meeting, there will be a National Executive Committee meeting on Wednesday, at which the report will be tabled for review, and then we look at the recommendations and begin work immediately, because our party's calendar indicates that we need to get all the elections, internal elections, through by the end of next year. And it begins with branch elections, progressing to constituency elections, regional elections, before we come to do our parliamentary and presidential primaries. And all this must be completed by December 2018. So we don't have time to spend at all.
That the party put together a group of credible and eminent members of our party to undertake a peacemaking and healing tour of the country and visit all key centers and constituencies. We believe this is extremely important for purposes of creating the necessary conditions for any serious work that needs to be done in the way of the party's restructuring and renewal. We also have recommendations, a recommendation that the party take steps to restore the integrity of the biometric register and the expanded electoral college. Additionally, we recommend that steps be taken to restore the capacity and effectiveness of the party's organs, especially at the branch level, where we believe these organs are the most critical because they are the party's immediate connection with the people. We are, after all, Mr. Chairman, a truly mass party. Mr. Chairman, we also have recommendations on ways in which we can and must improve the collation of election results. We also believe that steps ought to be taken by the party to reconnect itself properly to our social democratic roots and the principal actors in these social democratic roots. We believe and also do recommend that steps ought to be taken to strengthen research and intelligence in the party. This should involve crowding in a larger body of the party's intellectual capacity. Which has not been particularly active, I don't believe, in the last few years. This will help to support the party's own research capacity.
Right, so wanted to start with Kweku. He says you should start, and I think it's in order because you are the one that must speak to the issue first. So after you have spoken, then Kweku will speak. For you, what are the highlights that you take out of this report? Even though I know you would have seen it, and if you haven't seen it, relating to what Professor Botchwey had to talk about.
Thanks, Sammy. Samson, look, first of all, I think we have to congratulate the members of the committee which toured the length and breadth of our country to collate views regarding why, as the ruling party in 2016, we lost the elections. Professor Kwesi Botchwey obviously did very well. He and the members who constituted the committee, they have since submitted their report. It is voluminous. It contains a number of recommendations.
Almost 500 pages, right?
Which, yes, if implemented, would secure a resounding victory for the NDC come 2020. Now, I have seen in the media some issues raised and attributed to the Professor Kwesi Botchwey committee. I need to state categorically that the Professor Kwesi Botchwey's committee's report is meant and designed to enable the party deal with some of the challenges we encountered in the 2016 elections, and for us to be able to reorganize the party internally and reposition it in a manner that would ensure that we are fully prepared for the next general elections. And so that report is exclusively meant for the party's own internal consumption. I need to stress on this point. Now, the committee members, Professor Kwesi Botchwey's committee's members, are men of integrity who have ensured that that particular report has not suffered any leakages. And so what you have seen in the media at best can be described as highly speculative. People are speculating. What is in the report? No, this is a political party. And as a political party, our strategy cannot be shared with opponents. We keep that to ourselves, reorganize sufficiently well, reposition ourselves to recapture political power. These are not matters that we put out there in the public domain.
Even in the Vatican documents leak.
Well, Samson, but I am saying on authority that there has not been any leakages.
No, you cannot.
And that whatever you may have in the public domain.
In the course, I'm still going to quote some of it to you.
Whatever you may have in the public domain, whatever you may have in the public domain is highly speculative. It is not the report.
You cannot guarantee that.
The report we have is not out there in the public domain, and it is not intended to be released for public consumption. It is for the internal workings of our party. That is the point I'm making. You see, when we advert our minds to what happened in 2008, you remember the NPP as a political party.
Please talk about your own matter.
The NPP as a political party definitely did some work, okay, regarding why they lost that election. But that was never shared. But an individual, Arthur Kennedy, came out with a publication. Because it was a publication, he did his own findings and put it out there, chasing the elephant into the bush. In relation to what we have done, it's not a book which has been authored out there for people to buy and, of course, draw lessons from why we lost. We are saying that this is a party which is mass in nature. We need to reorganize. They have some recommendations have been made, and those are the aspects of the report we thought was important to be put out there in the public domain. And so I'd rather we concentrated on the recommendations of the Professor Botchwey's committee, and you know some of the recommendations are very, very important. The first one is that we should try to build bridges. We set up a committee to go around and try to forge unity and bring the party together. That is important. After suffering a defeat in an election,
shocking.
Definitely, some
shouldn't that all be led by a figure you would be interested in promoting into the elections? Now that you have so many divisions in there, who is going to lead this peace building tour?
No, the functional executive committee is working on that, and so when they are done with their work, those who constitute that committee would be made public. But Samson, ours is a democratic party, and so we cannot sit here and say for a fact that Mr. A, even though I have my own preferences, if you ask me, I can tell you without any fear of contradiction that our best bet for the next election is President Mahama. I can say without any fear of contradiction, but that is not to say that is what the NDC would decide. The NDC is preparing itself to go for elections. It's going to be a democratic process. All those who are qualified and eligible to run for the position of presidential candidate would be given the free hand to operate and contest. When we finish with the selection process, we can then begin to market whoever emerges victorious. So we're not going to do anything to distort.
In this report, do you realize that you were not listening to Ghanaians? Questions of arrogance, questions of not even being able to speak to economic data properly. You know, if specific individuals are being, you know, isolated for blame.
And I must state here and now that one Dr. Zubero, of course, a member of the Professor Kwesi Botchwey's committee, is alleged to have singled out certain leading personalities within our party for condemnation, namely Dr. Omane and Honorable Terkper. Dr. Zubero has since come out to deny that he never said that. Okay. Even if he did, I mean, it was not within his power to do so because these are not matters captured in the report. Okay. So there is a denial there, and we'll take it as such.
It was not within his power to criticize. Yes, Kuku.
Well, the report, I haven't seen it. Let me be honest with you. But the report will come to us.
We won't go to the report.
No. It will come.
All right.
It's natural. NDC is an institution made up of human beings. And the report will have aspects that virtually, maybe the wrong word I'm going to use is indict or assess the performance of the key actors and organs of the party and what might have led to the abysmal performance. And this is a party that
don't forget they were cruising to victory.
It's part of the problem because the recommendations talks of improving collation of election results. Obviously, something was wrong with their system because they thought they were in comfortable lead. It was obviously not true. So they are being asked to improve on that. The MPP, in contrast, set up a magnificent collation center and did a good job with it. But
this far better than the electoral commissioner. Commission.
Well, I'll reserve my comment on that. This is a party in pains, deep agony. There's no doubt about that. They really, with the incumbency advantage that they had and the resources at their disposal, I think they didn't anticipate such, a disastrous performance in election results. This is an election defeat report. That's what it is.
Election defeat report.
That's what it is. Maybe if they look for the right cure, it could help them. They've done it before, let's be honest. Post-election 2000, they set up a reorganization committee, went around the country, assessed how they lost, even undertook some reforms in terms of their constitution and party structure and all the rest, and how they elected their candidates and things. So it isn't exactly a new experience for them, except that this time around, I think the overconfidence got deflated by creditable performance by the NDC. So they're going to face a challenge, and it's happened here. The non-disclosure is their right. They are entitled to decide that they won't disclose the contents of the report. But having put out some recommendations, those recommendations, if we scrutinize them carefully, can give us an insight as to what indeed were the causes of their defeat and what may be in the report. But they are going to consistently face a certain challenge. And he referred to the people publishing aspects of the report,
right,
or the purported report. You are going to be confronted with that challenge forever and ever until the report comes to us, and then we start publishing the contents.
That is an admission that you see.
Oh no, I agree.
Koko is the chief interceptor, so if he hasn't been able to intercept the report, it means it hasn't leaked.
See, in a large measure, most of the things being published on social media are not authentic.
Yes.
Even some are not sharp. The way they put it and things they put in there, you straight away know that this is not coming from the report. Okay? Because I haven't seen the report, I won't say everything that is being put out is not authentic, because I haven't seen it. So I'm not entitled to make that judgment call. But many of the things, if you read, the way a manner is being put and the way it's teasing somebody, or that's it. But you see, because of the campaign, the internal campaign that is going to come, you are going to have to, people are going to contest for positions, not just the presidential, not the parliamentary, but even the internal party things. Portions of that report will come to us because it will be part of their own internal fights. People are positioning or repositioning themselves.
Right.
And some will throw out portions of that report. Perhaps at the end of the day, it might be better if the party did a certain executive summary of the essentials and put it out there.
There are suggestions that people are going to be punished if they put the report out.
No, but you see, the report is part of curing the ailment the party suffered and is suffering. You must let the grassroots or the organizers at the branch level, constituency level, district and regional level, even though they told their story, but you've consolidated it. So it is not like word for word.
So they are going to go around the country and share with them.
That's exactly the point I'm making. That process itself will bring more of the contents out. So you've got to be careful how much of the report you want to keep indoors. Truly, I'm sure by Monday or Tuesday, some media and research groups will have copies either of the report, its whole report.
You mean the Crusading Guide newspaper?
The Prophet.
I'm saying that by early next week, portions of the report will be out there.
Right.
So they must look for a way of consolidating some portions for purposes of even your reorganization. I don't see how you can go to a branch or a constituency to try and deal with some of the problems that you encountered without disclosing to them.
Right.
And there will be tape recorders and things there too.
Right.
The walls have years.
Alex, they have repeatedly referred to the NPP that you did a similar report when you lost and it never got, into the public. How did you do that?
Well, it is always good to do an introspection. And in spite of the shocking defeats in the 2016 elections, let me be honest in commending the NDC for that bold step. They woke up to the realities and decided to go round, no matter the costs. And that is what, to me, is good for our multi-party democracy. It's not good to lose an election. It's not a happy moment. I have gone through elections, I've lost some and I've won some. And especially when you lose, the blame game. So it is not an easy task. We've gone through it as a party. Unfortunately, we became a laughing stock. The same NDC said that, we're bad losers. We're not a national party. We're not properly organized. And surprisingly today, there is a recommendation that they should put in place a better coalition system. But we thought they had a perfect coalition system. We thought that they had a perfect research and intelligence wing. When they had issues with the expansion and the way they were selecting their candidates, people, hijacked the biometric registration system and all that. They took it for granted. And again, whereas in 2015, 2016, we in the opposition, people could voice out and criticize the party and certain decisions, and at least as a party, we took a cue and were able to address same. The NDC, because they were in power. I remember on one occasion, I was in a program with Felix, and I told Felix, in your case, your members are not coming out to criticize. They are keeping all to themselves. They will disappoint you on election day. He said, we were in chaos. Everybody was saying anything and all that. But at the end of the day, the MPP that had people ventilating their views, at least those who did not support the party and its vision, we knew them. Or those who didn't support the agenda for change, at least we knew them. But in your case, you didn't know who was for victory and who was against victory. So you went into the election believing that, oh, all was well. Is it the Usain Bolt? What's that guy name? That guy from
Usain Bolt.
yeah, Usain Bolt. Why are you hitting me? Sure, you. You are saying, well, how is it that? You know, then
No Ababa.
no Ababa. I mean, and all that. But there are lessons to learn. We need to learn. I mean, there's an election in 2020. There will be another election in 2024. We are now in power. We shouldn't sit and think that, hey, out for us today, we are the victors, so nothing will happen to us. I am happy that the party machinery, in spite of the victory, has also commissioned a committee to research and look at where we fell short. And even in government, the grassroots, we always go to them and get them to spend sleepless nights getting votes. When the power comes, the usual complaint, where is your certificate and all that. We must also find a way of addressing their concerns now.
Okay.
So that come 2020, we will still get them active, well motivated to go out there for the vote. Because Samson, you may be very popular, you may win an election, but you may not be declared the winner. And if I have the time, I explain to you, if you don't get dedicated people to make sure that 1,000 does not become 100, you will get 1,000 at a polling station. He will turn his eye somewhere, he will pretend to be sleeping, and then 100 will be written. And how it will get on the collation sheet, nobody knows.
Right.
So we have lessons to learn, what they've gone through. I think that the report will certainly, like Kweku said, it will come to all of us.
All right.
We'll get the opportunity of interrogating it. And we, as your main contender, will look at areas that you fell short and then possibly improve
We'll take
on
a,
our own.
we'll take a very final break
on
here.
our own
We'll
strategies.
take a very final break here. We'll take a very final break here. And when we return, Yaopong will also have his take. He thought that we are shutting him out of it. It won't be that way.
That's what I mean.
All right, so we are taking a break. We'll be right back to finish up on the NDC's peacemaking tour and what that will bring in 2020. And you should see Afenyoman King's notes. He wrote 2020 when the James was talking and said 2020. He wrote 2020 as a point to speak on. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Newsfile. This is your most authoritative news analysis show. And in the next 5 minutes or so, you are going to be encountering a man who has a very, very interesting story, intriguing story to tell. A story about Ghana and a story about Ghana's oil. And I'm talking about the man and the group who brought us to perhaps where we are as far as oil is concerned. And that will be on Nana Ansah-Quao's PM Express personality profile with George Yao Owusu. And it's about this book he has written, In Pursuit of Jubilee, a true story of the first major oil discovery in Ghana. And it's by George Yao Owusu with Roderick McCall. It's Kweku Bako, the man we have been waiting for many years to write, and who is refusing to write, is the one who is writing the foreword here and concludes his foreword with what I think is really true. He said, truth always wins and fortitude endures. But you should want to know quite a bit of the things that he says. Very revealing about persecutions and how these guys endured and brought us where we are. So, In Pursuit of Jubilee, a true story of the first major oil discovery in Ghana, George Yao Owusu, it's been launched, right? And it's now available in the bookshop, so go get one. I started reading it last week, and I've enjoyed learning things that I had no idea about, the inside information. Right, so indeed, truth does endure. And fortitude will also, truth wins and fortitude endures, according to Kweku Bako. How is that? Is this correct of the NDC situation presently?
Oh, yes, I think it
They
applies.
are refusing to tell the truth.
And that's the whole
Share
point.
the truth.
You see, the political parties have been held to be public institutions. In their own case, Republic versus JB and Avalivo, where the NDC said Avalivo, money belonging to the NDC was stolen. And one of the issues was whether or not the stealing of their money belonging to a political party is a crime against the state.
Can you talk
or
about
public
anything
interest.
without referring to any law?
He's a professor.
It's important.
I love it.
If something has happened before.
I love it.
But what I'm saying is that, so they cannot pretend to be a private institution. The Constitution has enormous provisions about political parties and how they should conduct themselves. As I sit here, I don't even know whether the NDC thinks that only their members can vote for a person they sponsor to become president. That is not possible for any political party. I think people are looking for truth. Persons who look into their face and tell them, this is what we did wrong. This is the reason why we lost. I think we get the rank and file voters who do not concern themselves with any political party. They are looking forward to people who profess to be truthful. Even
you are saying the NDC has an obligation to share the findings with all of us.
Yeah, I'm saying that because without that, how will we even know that they admit that they made these mistakes? But when you look at words like restore, reconnect, it means that something existed, which by some reason they lost, and they are now bringing that thing back. You alone know what you had which enabled you to win in 2012 or even 2008. And so even going back, of course, I mean, a non-examined life is not worth living.
Right.
But you know what you have lost, which you want to bring back.
Right.
So in my view, I think that, as Koku said, it's important to bring this report. It shows humility in the first place. But I must commend you for being able to manage your rank and file from the eruption that...
Thank you very much. I'm sorry. Hold on.
Was your 2012
Okay. Sorry. A very final text I'll read and then we check out is from Kofi Bento, and he says that the clear way out of the General Legal Council is for the General Legal Council to constitute an examination body just like ICA, CIM, ACCA. All who qualify should register to write the exams, find their own tuition, and sit for the exams if they pass and they are called to the bar like other professional bodies. And my guests on Newsfile have been Abdul Malik Kwekubaku, editor-in-chief of the New Crusading Guide newspaper. Yao Pong is a lawyer and teaches the law at the Central University. James Agalga is also a lawyer. He's MP Bolsa North, former Deputy Minister for the Interior and Ranking Member, Defense and Interior Committee of Parliament. Alexander Kwamina Afenyo Markin is MP. He's also a lawyer and MP Efutu and a member, Public Accounts, Defense and Interior Committees of Parliament. I'm Samson Ladi Ayenini. You have a good afternoon. My outfit, as always, is by Latida.